This plant means that spring is officially here. It's a Brunnera macrophylla and it's absolutely beautiful. The small blue flowers, they resemble forget-me-nots. It flowers for 8 to 10 weeks here in the early to the mid, even to the late part of spring, and it's everywhere. This Brunnera can grow pretty much in any type of soil, even dry soil, as long as it's not too heavy or too wet. It really doesn't prefer that, but otherwise it's really quite easy to grow and in any type of garden. We have it here in a more of a cottage garden style. It also grows really beautifully in pots. We have it in combination with a lot of our spring flowers, the tulips, the hyacinths, the muscari. It's really a great signifier that spring is here and the garden season is ready to begin. As far as border plants go, you really can't go wrong with the Brunnera. It's low growing, so it works really well here on the edge of the border. It also loves the shade. So it's a great alternative to hostas and astilbas, to other things that slugs and snails enjoy eating because they're not really prone to go and snack on this guy. So while it does love the shade, it also works really well in the full sun, and I'll show you some of that in a minute. It grows to around 30 to 50 centimeters tall, making it a great ground cover as well. We have one more variety here in the garden. It's a Jack Frost. So while this foliage is really quite beautiful, almost a little fuzzy, if you rub on it with your finger, you can feel a little hairs, a little fuzz on it. The Jack Frost has a completely different type of foliage, making it also really, really special. Here's a great example of planting it right on the edge of our border because of its height and these beautiful blue flowers. It's a great combination with our tulips, with some of our beautiful pink perennials that we have coming in, even a ladybug at this time of year, which is quite rare for this time of year. It's still a bit of chill in the air, but even the ladybug has found it. So great, now let's head up and show you that Jack Frost variety that we've been talking so much about. So this is the Brunnera macrophylla Jack Frost variety. You can see on these leaves, it has this beautiful silver, almost white veinage. It's really quite a beautiful plant. What we like about it is that it can sit back here in the back of the border, and that texture and the color on the leaves makes a really nice contrast. We have it planted next to a dicentra in white. So to me, those really work together. This is a low growing, so make sure that you keep it on the front of the border. Here's a very shady spot of the garden in the front where we just were. It's really a lot in the sun. So this is a great versatile plant as well. Make sure you have other things around it that can sort of cover up that height so you're not just having a nice flat piece. This Brunnera is also really easy to grow from seed, and we'd love to show you that now. So for this, we're using regular potting soil because it's the cheapest. We did add water beforehand. That'll help our seeds not get lost and tossed around in the tray.
Oh, and if you want to see a great video on how to winter sow, click the link here.
Good job, Lars.
All the seeds are sitting in a little seed pod here. So I'm actually just gonna drizzle the stem here with all the seeds pod in here. See if I can find another one. Here's another seed pod here, I'll show you. But they just sit there. So I'm just gonna drizzle it in here. They will for sure come. I'll drizzle the rest down here too. And then they will come. There we go. And then I'll add a handful of soil here on top. And then they will sprout when it gets warmer outside. So where I'm gonna put it is right in the greenhouse. Of course, with a little name tag on, there we go. And here they will sit until the spring comes. And then they will start to germinate. And every 2 weeks or so, I'll check if the surface here is dry, then I'll water with my spray. And when they are a little bit bigger, the plants, I can plant them right out in the garden. So it has been 3 months and the Brunnera has sprouted. And now when they have the second set of leaves, I will repot it so they get a little bit more space. Once they are bigger with foliage and the roots start to pop out in the bottom, I'll plant it out in the garden. If you don't have the time or the space to repot, you could also take them right from the tray and out in your garden. So here the Brunnera has finished flowering in some areas, and this is the seed pods. It's like lime green color. As soon as they turn brownish, you would
collect them. Otherwise it will self-sow around in your garden or on your path. So what I do, I collect them in coffee filters and keep them until they are really brown and ready to be sown in a tray or directly out in the garden. Brunnera can actually also easily be divided. I have a big plant here that's gotten too big, so I would just gently loosen around here the plant. And I know it's in flower now, but it will actually be okay. Then I just slowly pull it up here like this. And then I'll just take my little shovel here, or if you have a strong knife, I would just kind of divide it either in the corner or just in the middle, as long as you get more roots here. And let me just divide like this and make sure there's root system on both ends you divide. And there we go, we already have 2 new plants, and I can even divide it more. So here I have another free plant, and it's actually really healthy for a lot of the perennials to be divided, to give them a bit more space. This one can be placed other places around in the garden, or it would be a great gift when you go somewhere for a birthday party, or then you bring flowers.
So the Brunnera also self-seeds, as you can see here in our garden. I often joke that our garden is sponsored by a Brunnera. It's here, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's everywhere. But it's a beautiful plant for this time of year, and it's also really easy to dig up, pot on, and give away to family and friends. So thanks so much for watching, and let us know if you have this plant growing in your garden, and if not, why not? It's a beautiful plant that really says spring is here.